welcome back to Visit Fylde Coast. Today in Cleveleys it be mighty windy. It's absolutely blowing a gale. I've been looking for my little windometer thing and I can't find it. I've got absolutely no idea where I've put it. It could be anywhere knowing me. Oh, it's dewdrops on the end of my nose. I've upgraded my fingerless gloves. I've got some new ones which I think are probably men's because they're massive. But they're definitely warmer than them other ones. So I'm going to take for a walk on the beach and the seafront. As you can tell by my garb, by my super Larry, what's that? Oh, it's my badge. My super Larry high-vis. It's beach clean day today. So we've got all our trusty volunteers out on the beach. I think they've all gone that way and that way. So we'll go and have a look, see what they're doing. We're going to have a look at the diggers and see what they're doing up there. And I'll take you that way to have a look at the water. And we'll just generally have a total round on a very cold and very windy Monday morning in Cleveleys. So you know we're doing all this cleaning up stuff in Cleveleys. Well, this is my next task for T-Boy. I'm going to set him on cleaning the weeds up on the seafront because they're annoying me to death. You'll have noticed if you've been down here that there's a red line painted quite a way along the floor on this little bit here where the benches are. And that's because when they do the sea defence work, they're going to put a new little upstand wall in. And it goes from round about here up to the end at the 5-bar gate. And it's going to be about a foot taller than this wall that I'm standing on. And it's going to just stand in front. They're going to cut a channel here, like sort of that. And then they're going to drop the concrete precast sections into it. And then that will tidy it all up. So the benches are going to be plotted so that we know which one goes where. Because of course they're all memorial benches. That one's Mona Burke, and they will be put back in the same place but further back so that they're not underneath the wall. And guys just come to empty the bin. Look, I was just going to neddy down these steps. Plenty of bins if you've got any rubbish at any time. Now you know how the bin works. Put it in the bin. Don't just drop it on the floor. See the little birds? Loads of them. And they just disappear. They just disappear into the twigs and pebbles. Just seeing them all flying along the beach. They're lovely to watch. They seem to be resident. They seem to live here all year round. And then when the tide comes in, they sit on the path. And then they sit looking at cars longingly, waiting for people to drop the crumbs. Goodness, it's cold. Do you like our new road? We've got a little bit of a road on the beach. This is what the diggers and the dumpers have made down at that end lot, so that they can get over the ground. They've built the pebble up so that they can get over the ground there. And then there's another one there, look, as well, that they've made. Oh, it's brightening up, look. It's brightening up. So we're going to somebody down there riding a horse, look. I tell you, there's people out on this beach in all kinds of weathers. That must be really good. Oh, I'm wobbling. I'm sorry I'm wobbling. I'm trying to hold steady, but it's very, very windy. Well, I can only say that we must have been doing some good as a group all these years. Look, there's a bit of paper there blowing. I'll have to pick that up. Because this beach is very clean, especially to say it's been very windy, which is unusual. Unusually clean. People are not really picking much up at all. Here come the horses. That must be amazing, riding a horse on a beach. They're lovely. Gorgeous. Hello. You famous, eh? Here come some rocks and the little buggy. and I'm going to go and show you what they've already done, because they've already put some rocks in place and there are some more that are being positioned. So what they're going to do is they're going to cut this geotextile. That blue thing is a beam, which they christened the toilet roll holder, for want of a better description. So that is the bit that the digger holds onto, which holds the geotextile like a big roll of toilet roll, and then they unroll it to form the base underneath the rocks to stop them from dropping down into the beach. So the little escort buggy, apparently that's a quad bike with a cab on. It's quite natty, that, isn't it? Quite natty. The rocks go on top of the geotextile, and they're all neatly positioned in the right place. And then here we have before and after. These are some rocks on the left here at the side of the digger that have just been delivered to site, so they're just sat loose on top. As you can see, this guy's picking them up and moving them like little marbles. Banksman making sure that nobody gets too near. And then these are after these are finished. So you can see the pegs and the poles and the cones as well around the back of the site. So these are positioned in place, and the whole point of what they're doing is that the shingle builds up at the back of it and lifts the beach level. So in time to come, all this shingle here will end up at the height of the rocks, and the beach will lift up so that it brings the beach right up to the seawall, like it is down here, look, like this. And that's what gives you your super duper sea defence. It's very clever, isn't it? Very clever indeed. And meanwhile there'll be home for birdies and all that kind of thing. Never felt a thing. Little bit of a wobble and never felt a tremor. And I'm standing right at the side of it. Amazing. Very clever, aren't they? I'm a shocking nerd. So apparently at this end it kinks out. You can see it's sort of coming across at an angle like that, and then it kinks back in to meet the line of where the seawall is and where it's actually going to follow, sort of at the left of where the dumper truck is travelling now. And what you'll not appreciate is that inside that truck it's all computer controlled. So it not only needs to be a digger operator, it needs to be a rocket scientist as well. So it's all computer controlled, and all these rocks are plotted exactly where they are, and they're all laid scientifically so that they've got at least 3 contact points, but the gaps between them are just as important as the actual volume of the rock itself. I think we ought to name these 2 crows. There's one there, it's a bit far away to be able to see it clearly, but there's one there, off he goes, look. Oh, away he goes. And there's another one that's somewhere at the back of me. They're always on this beach. I think we need to give him a name and adopt him. I'm not going to go down to the edge of the water into the sandbar because I've not got my wellies on, and I'm not really sure whether it's coming in or going out. I've told you before, I never know which way it's going, and I'm neurotic about getting cut off on that beach. It's too cold to be sending for lifeboat today, but goodness me, can you hear that wind? That is a proper straight on southwesterly, I reckon. It's coming that way, so I reckon that's a southwesterly. And our barometer is so high, low. It's gone down to low pressure. I can never remember because it goes it goes upwards when it's low and down when it's high. It's about as low as low goes. So I reckon we're in for some charming weather in the next few weeks. And there's a bit of sea glass, look. It's just a teeny tiny little bit, but that can come with me. That's a bit easier to walk on. This solid sand's a lot easier to walk on than that soft wet stuff. And just looking at my feet and my absence of a pair of wellies, I think these shoes are probably nearly as old as I am. I must have had them at least 30 years. And if you looked carefully, there's a hole in the toe. And that's a little bit of blue, look. Still lovely. Still lovely. Look how banked up that is. Look where they're stored relative to this. That's the bit that keeps us dry. Well, would you believe it? Goodness me, I can hardly stand up. After all that grey sky, the blue's coming, look. At least it looks like it's going to brighten up a bit. And now for the best bit. We're off in the venue for our coffee. That's my friend Betty. Oh, good Lord in heaven above. So I hope you've enjoyed this little jaunt round a very windy Cleveleys beach on a Monday morning. A little bit of an update and a little bit of a look at what's happening. And now we're going to go and sit in the naughty corner and have our coffee and get warm and get thought this is my mate. Looking puzzled because they don't understand what I'm doing. So don't forget, make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you've hit the little bell and done all that kind of stuff. This is some of our mates already come back. Rest of them are following on in dribs and drabs. Make sure that you've subscribed and then you get all the latest updates. And we'll see you later. Bye for now.